And back here with Coach John Bell at the brand new St. Louis University track facility. And correct me if I'm wrong, but let's say Minnesota native or just went to college in Minnesota?
I did my undergraduate in Minnesota.
Okay.
People ask me where I'm from, and it's kind of a crazy, answer. I was actually born here in St. Louis.
Oh, okay.
My father worked for St. Louis University, so we've come
You're
full
kidding?
circle.
Oh my gosh.
Full circle.
Yeah.
His sister still lives here, and so I had an aunt and uncle, some cousins that live here in St. Louis. But we moved when I was about 2.
Okay.
To Pennsylvania, then we moved to Utah, and that's where my family is now.
Okay.
I went to high school in Utah, and I went to school in Minnesota, then graduated school in Kansas, back to Utah to take a job. And
Okay.
Then, my roommate in graduate school, actually, right after graduate school, was the first SLU.
Sure,
Nelson.
Well, where did you, in Minnesota, what was the school?
I went to St. Mary's University.
St. Mary's, okay.
A little small Division III school. I actually originally went to school at Creighton University.
Okay.
In Omaha, Nebraska. I was playing baseball there. Got hurt, transferred, and I ran track in high school, and I missed it. And so when I transferred to St. Mary's, started running there. So I got back into track and field.
Okay.
The rest is kind of history. I finished up when I graduated. Paul Thornton, who's now at the University of Minnesota, gave me my first job there at St. Mary's.
Okay.
So I was there for a year. I worked the cross-country season and the indoor season, and then took the head girls track and field coaching position at Winona Senior High School.
Okay.
Where that was actually a really interesting experience because it was a combined program, and I just did the sprints, but Elliot Heath was a 7th grader and Garrett Heath was a high school senior.
Right.
And so I got to see the Heaths kind of before they really made it big at Stanford, and that was exciting.
And was that Winona? Is that just a suburb of the Twin Cities,
No,
or is that further?
It's a small little town right along the Mississippi River.
Okay.
About 2 hours south of the Twin Cities.
Okay. So how close to Mankato?
About 2 hours straight east.
Okay.
Of Mankato.
Yeah.
Hour and 45 if you have a lead foot like I do, but it's about 2 hours. And so that was, how I got into the coaching world, and then the opportunity came for me to go to graduate school at Emporia State University.
And
for 2 years.
to work with a lot of people know here, obviously a St. Louis native, David Harris, who ran at Northeast and then coached at Jeff City and then went to Nebraska and then to Emporia State, and
now
his first year back at Nebraska.
So Dave was, at first, my first 2 years we used to joke around that, gosh, we do things so much differently than Dave, and why does he do things the way he does?
Yeah.
Now that I've been a head coach for 5 years, I completely understand why Dave did the things he did. But that was a great opportunity. Did that for 2 years, and then went back to Utah Valley. At the time, it was Utah Valley State University.
Sure.
Or Utah Valley State College. At the time, we were the only school in the country to go from being a junior college all the way to Division I.
Right.
So that was an interesting experience. Was there for a year and a half.
How did you? Where did you cross paths with the Missouri standout distance runner from Mary Notham, Washington?
We recruited Mary Notham.
Okay.
And she was there. Her and I was at Utah Valley for a semester. I came to St. Louis in January of 2007. Mary's freshman year started that August of 2006. So I got to spend the cross country season with her, and she was a star.
Yeah.
She went on to have a great career there.
Yeah.
Multiple time NCAA qualifier in the steeplechase and 10K, and did really, really well for him. But I came here in 2007, January 2007. Mike Nelson was the head coach here at SLU at the time. He was my roommate in graduate school. So that was the connection there.
As a St. Louis native who, stand out at Northwest, and Dad is a Metcalf Hall of Fame.
Yeah, was in the Hall of Fame. So.
And then ran at Northeast with Truman for Coach Schneider, and then also, went to Emporia for be grad assistant. And
that's how we met. And, so I came here, and Mike left in August of 2007 to go up to Marquette University, and I became the head coach, and been here ever since.
Now, was that 2007? Was that the first year that the program was reinstated, the track program, after years of having just cross, or was it?
The program we had.
Was it 2005 or 2006?
The 06, spring of 2006 was the first outdoor season.
Okay.
When I got here in January of 2007, that was the first indoor season.
Right.
Since the program had been reestablished. We had track and field at St. Louis University from about 1976, 1977 to 1982. and the program was dropped in 1982. It was just men.
A pretty notable coach there who was there.
Was the head coach at the time. And every time I run into Al, whether it's at the coaches convention or at a track meet, he's like, I started the program.
Right.
And we have a good laugh about it. So 06 was the first outdoor season. 07 was the first indoor season. And I think now we've got a firm grasp of track and field at St. Louis University, obviously with this new edition of the program. And I think this is a firm commitment to track and field. I can't imagine that we're in any danger now. We've just built this brand.
Right.
It's a good thing. And the program's just taken off. Our men were a little bit behind the women, but I think with this crop of freshman men that we have right now, with Mike Scolarici from
O'Fallon, just across the river.
He's a 9-13 kid in high school. So that's, for where our program is, that's a great kid to have.
Yeah.
Sean Canavan, a kid from the Dallas, Texas area, ran 152 at the Texas State meet last year, 800 meters. Tim Zelmer came here as a walk-on from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. He was a 927 guy, and he's turned out to be the best walk-on I've ever had.
What did he run at WashU?
He ran 14, at WashU. He ran 14:59.
Okay.
So he broke that 15-minute barrier, which is, for a freshman walk-on, that's a great place to be.
Oh, man, yeah.
So, the men's program's coming along. And again, the women's program, obviously, with Hillary Orff and Margot Richardson and Brittany Cloudy, they kind of took some steps ahead. And, the thing with our women is we're well-rounded right now with Margot and Hillary in the distances, Brittany in the jumps, Keita Alvarez, a hurdler from Colorado. She's a Colorado state record holder in the 300-meter hurdles.
Goodness, yeah.
She's a great 400 hurdler for us. Alice Walter from Kansas City is a good 400-meter runner for us. Naya Owusu in the high jump. So we're starting to spread the wealth a little bit.
Yeah.
And so I feel we're taking the right steps. And we're just going to continue to keep that ball rolling, and hopefully this facility enables us to do
right. It. And how big has it been, the whether it's been, obviously Hillary's, when she can stay healthy, she's just done some phenomenal things the last couple of years, and how big is that to actually make a U.S. junior U.S. World Cross team,
that's
Margot make the U.S. Junior Nationals, and
Hillary has just been Hillary came to us from Marquette High School here in town, and she was a 40-mile, 45-mile a week girl, and other than her freshman year, and she got hurt her freshman year.
It was hurt most of her senior year.
It was hurt. Well, it hurt her the end of her junior year. It kind of rehabilitated through her senior year. She came here and actually got hurt, but it wasn't a running-related injury. And Hillary's going to be really embarrassed when I tell this story. She was waving to a friend walking out of her dorm and tripped, and ended up getting a stress fracture from her fall.
Oh my goodness!
And so that's been her only injury. She missed basically the NCAA regional cross country meet her freshman year. A couple weeks after that, basically started training middle of December her freshman year again, and has not missed a day of training since.
Right.
And it's a testament to what happens when kids stay healthy.
Right.
She's gone from 40 to 45 miles a week to now she can be an 80 to 85 mile a week gal.
Right.
And she had a couple 100-mile weeks this last summer, and you're starting to see it pay off.
Right.
To make that NACAC team and to run so well at the USA Cross Championships. I was pleasantly so. I thought she'd do well. I didn't think she'd do that well.
Yeah.
To run up there with Molly Huddle and some of those folks. That's Sarah Hall. She was in the lead group for 6K, 6 of the 8K, and so she had a great experience down at NACAC. And then, and that was the kind of the plan to use that in preparation for Stanford, last weekend, and to go out and hit an Olympic B standard.
Right, 33. Was it 57?
33:57
for 10K.
For 10K, first time she's ever run 10K.
Right.
So I think that's pretty good. First time out to hit an Olympic trial standard, at least the B standard. It just I couldn't be more proud of her.
Well, I was shocked to hear that talking to her in December. After being all region at Cross and 6K and in the fall and November, and then talked to her in late December at the Big River Running winter distance camp, that after making the preliminary round and set the school record, and 421, is that right? 422? 46. Okay.
46 for 15.
For 1500, and that she's ready to jump in, run some 5 and 10Ks. I was like, whoa, 10K already, so.
Yeah, no, it's been Hillary has an aerobic engine on her that is phenomenal. And we really, one of the things, and sometimes our recruits and our freshmen get really maybe a little impatient with us because we're very, very conservative on the front end of their training. We don't want to get them hurt.
Yeah.
And so we're a little